Final thing we got to do, check and make sure that the forms are still level. That way we pour our concrete at a level height all the way around. And that one got a little out of level. Let's see if we can fix this. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Always when you're measuring for concrete or checking your forms, make sure you're not setting your level. You want to make sure that the whole surface of the level is flat. Nothing's keeping it up or down. And then on the forms themselves, you want to make sure all dirt is cleared off of them, so that you know you're setting your level on flat ground, and that the level angle you're measuring isn't being affected by a little piece of dirt or a little rock. We look pretty good. So it's time to pour. Watch out, buddy. Watch out. Watch out, Chase. Watch out. Watch out. Go. So when you're working with bags of concrete, you'll always find the bag has an end with some brown paper hanging out. They make it like that so you can just pull and it opens up, kind of gives you a little spout right here. You can see it a little better like that. That area right there is your spout. This rips right off. Set it there, pick up your bag, and pour. That did not go as I expected. Okay. This is my mixing stick. We're gonna see how this does. I don't have a wheelbarrow. I wish that I did. It would probably make this much easier, but got to work with what we have. So, a garden hoe and a plastic bucket. That's what we got. But, as I suspected, not kind of going to work like I was wanting. So, to our next order of business. Okay, that's not really working either. So, now we're going to try the shovel.
Hi, Dad.
Smoldering intensity?
It's this stupid face you make, huh?
So, as you guys can see, my phone battery died about 5 minutes after I got that first bucket mixed and poured out in the form. So I had to stop, or I would have had to stop and go get another camera and get it all set up, but with how hot it was, I didn't want to do that. I was afraid that the concrete might set up that first bucket anyway before I was able to get back out and get all set up and keep rolling. So I had to keep going. Thankfully, my wife came out with about 5 minutes after the camera battery had died, so we were able to put her phone on until the other batteries got charged back up, so we could put those put those and use those to record. Thankfully, though, she came out there not too long after the battery died. Otherwise, this would have been a pretty short video. Not sure if you guys were able to hear that bang just now, but what that sound was me dropping an entire 60-pound bag of concrete on my driveway. Oopsie. See what happens. I left one bag in the garage on a piece of carpet, but we had a real bad rainstorm the other night, and evidently not enough. Bottom bag, I just lost half of it in the garage, so I'll show you that in a second. Hopefully, I'm hoping we have enough here to get this board up, which I guess it's just a little low. Not that big a deal, but not what I was going for, that's for sure. Not what I was going for. Go grab a quick scoop from the driveway. Okay. Well, maybe, just maybe, it'll be enough. Might be right below it, but that's
Did you spill some concrete?
uh-huh.
Yeah. Lunch is ready when you're
Okay.
at a good stopping point.
What is it?
Huh?
What is lunch?
Leftovers.
Okay.
I made more rice.
I'm not really gonna be at a good stopping point. Would you be willing to bring me out some water and some food?
Yeah.
Guys, that board is way too wet. Way too wet. But there might be a way to salvage it, at least maybe a little bit. We're gonna go get some of the concrete I spilled, put it in that bucket, mix it up real dry, put it on here and spread it out. Hopefully it will absorb that top water. That would be perfect. The perfect way to fix a stupid mistake. Just a little bit of water, just enough to get it So I know what some of you are thinking. For anybody who's worked with concrete before, you should know that what I'm using to smooth it out right now is called a trowel, not a float. The way that you're supposed to do concrete is you start with a float, which is just a little bit thicker and it's got a little bit more of a curve to it, and that's to help kind of push. It's got a little more weight to it to push the concrete around and get it to where it needs to go. The other thing that a float does is it kind of compresses the concrete a little bit and it pulls all the water up to the top, which in a lot of decorative type concrete jobs, that water, or cream is what it's called, is used to smooth out the top layer of the concrete, and then you can do a pattern or stamp, whatever it may be, on top of that. However, I didn't have a float, so I used my trowel as a float and then I smoothed it out with the trowel. The problem is that I used way too much water when I poured this thing, and so no matter how smooth I got it, there was still a layer, maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch thick on top of the concrete of just water, which is way too much. So it was a bit interesting having to, thankfully it was a hot, dry day, so it didn't take too long for the concrete to dry up and for the water to evaporate or to be absorbed, but it definitely took longer than I was hoping for. And I'm not a lefty, so I'm not even going to try. Concrete is, you just want to make sure you keep as much dirt out of the concrete as you can, because the dirt tends to float up to the top and create pockets. Now, with the pad that's going to be covered in cinder block and built on the top of, not that big a deal, but when you're working on a customer's home, patio or something like that, you never guess how many people care about a little tiny pocket in their concrete until you get a call to have to go back there and patch up pretty small things. But when you have to do that, what happens is that's time, and as everybody knows in business, time is money. So if you're spending time fixing something you've already been at and done and had a crew to, and you got to go back there to fix something that could have been fixed in the first place, that should have never happened, like dirt in the top, that's you can imagine that can be pretty frustrating. So just take the extra step and clean the dirt out. Okay guys, as you can see here, we're really just doing the finishing touches. I'm putting the level on the pad once I've done all my troweling and got it where I want it. That way I can make sure that it's perfectly level, so when I build the structure on top, it'll build straight up. It's not going to be leaning to the left or the right at all. What I do here at the end, which you'll see in the beginning of the next video, is I place the cinder blocks on the pad while the pad is still wet. So those cinder blocks will absorb some of that concrete on top and really bond to the foundation pad itself. That way when I build up the wall on top of that, it'll be a little bit more strong and a little bit more secure to the actual foundation. Just using the trowel, finishing off, taking those lines away from the level. Other than that, guys, appreciate you watching today. If you can, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.